Nice.
Let them listen.
You know, I follow 2 different people on Twitter for like sales to keep up with all the sales and everything on Twitter. Normally PSVR related. Sometimes they do announcements. It's Wario64 and Cheap Ass Gamer, and so those guys I highly recommend you follow them because they're pretty awesome about different deals and stuff. But they had this Cheap Ass Gamer tweeted out about this mystery box, this PlayStation mystery box that they have. And so, like, it being PlayStation, I don't even know what's in it. I just had to go ahead and buy it because they're like $120 worth of PlayStation stuff for like $30, $40. So I went and checked it out. And so now I have like a giant box of a bunch of random PlayStation crap that I have no idea what half of it is.
Wait,
but
you're
it's
not
awesome.
talking about physical discs, right?
No, not physical discs.
Okay, when you said a whole box, I was like,
I'm
geez.
talking about like coasters, pins, blankets.
Oh,
like,
weird.
There's
swag.
Like
it's all
like
swag.
Yeah. But I highly recommend you guys follow them anyways because it's pretty awesome. They're good stuff. What's up, Matt Man in Black, Gabriel Jr., Richard Soto, Shats, Mikey Sensei, Ant-Man 66, Steaming Piranha, I like that. Rody, Shat79, Rich, Ezra, what's up, man? Mr. Caprione, J Brat, Soma, Ghost Gamer, Joystick, Will, what's up, dude?
The nice thing is if you give Will away, he comes with a copy of Squishies. Yeah.
Check 1, check 2. There we go.
In the chat. Okay.
There we go.
That happens a lot, Brian. That happens a lot.
Well, your average username. What a great username.
All right, everything's better again. I was telling the chat that we need to give away Will. I think on Halloween.
So my joke didn't make any sense.
Halloween this year, I feel like we should dress him up in a Spider-Man costume, and then give him away.
He seems very portable.
He's portable. I like that. Big fan of portability.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to PSVR GamesCast Live, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. With me this week, as always, in center stage here, is Davestation VR from his own channel, Davestation.
How do I keep ending up in the center? I don't like being in the center. I feel like AJ felt this way at the beginning.
The problem is I always start the Discord call, and so I think whoever starts it just gets thrown to the side, and so I've always got to like move the names around and stuff. And of course, to my far left is AJ, aka God Cannon, from his own channel, PSVR Underground, and also from Without Parole. That's it. That's it.
So the swag bag. The swag bag I was talking about, it came with a bunch of random stuff. Here is a PlayStation controller, like bath mat.
I want that. You selling off this stuff? You're going to start an eBay business or something?
I'm actually going to be doing some kind of giveaway at some point for each of these items. There's like this necklace thing, and then there's like a pin, and we got some nice coasters. Lots of swag to give out here pretty soon, so stay tuned.
Right on. Good. I'm actually just keeping an eye on the chat here real quick, making sure that all of the audio is where it should be. Everything seems to be okay. But of course, the chat is always like 7 years behind, so I'm always waiting for them to get caught up so I can get caught up.
A blankie?
A blanket?
Sorry.
Are you still going?
Blanket?
I didn't realize you were still going through your stuff.
There is so much stuff in this box. It is ridiculous.
Here's what I suggest. Throughout the show, you just randomly, in the middle of someone talking about something, you just pull out an item and you say, blankie. Or you say, like, hat. Like you just did right there. It was great.
When you guys are talking, I like doing this and like going, like pretending like I'm looking right at you. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know which side am I.
You're on the far left, so I have to like look way over Dave to see you. It's craziness.
Hey.
I can duck down if you want to look directly.
I don't even know if I'm looking the right way.
Thank you. While you're down there, Dave. Actually, no. Real quick shout out to Johnny Rypop, the stray cat. He says, "I got nothing. Just take it. Have a great show, guys." He gives us $7 Canadian.
Shoot for the fences, man. Shoot for the fences.
Yeah, swing for the rafters. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Please tell me if I get this right. Owando Kiernado also hooked us up with a £2 donation. Is that it? €2?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Wando.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Pound would be quid. Euros is euros. There's no nickname for. Or is euro like short for something?
I thought a euro was a pound. I'm
Crafty.
Apparently.
Crafty Crayon says, "Brian, turn up your mic a little."
People said that before too.
Yep,
they said you were quiet.
Maybe turn it up a little.
Okay. Turning it up.
Man, what a week we have got. How are you guys doing? How's everybody in the chat doing? How is everything?
And while we get our mic levels set up, also let me know if this is better or not. My mixer is all sorts of weird. Sometimes I turn it up and it goes down, which is not how things are supposed to work. But while we're getting this shit taken care of, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to Davestation. Also subscribe to PSVR Underground. We are one big team effort here, getting the word out about PlayStation VR. On top of that, make sure you head on over to our Discord. The link is in the description. That is where the coolest of all the cats hang out. Make sure you change your name to GameCat to show your allegiance to Without Parole, and let us know by leaving a comment somewhere that says #GameCat. Also, want to give a shout out to Killicell Quadruple 7.
Killicell.
Dude, Killicell's paying for my pizza tonight with a $20 donation.
A nice tomato cheese pie.
Yeah. What are you getting on that pizza?
Dude, I get the same thing every time. Actually, that's not true. I've been changing it up. I don't know why I'm lying to everybody. But always extra cheese. Always. So there's got to be quite a bit of meat if I'm gonna like go crazy. So it's gonna be like meatball, or like the pizza place I go to has crispy chicken, which means they fry a bunch of chicken and just throw it right on the pizza. Which, how could that be bad? Good stuff for sure. Thank you very much, Killicell, and of course anyone else who donates. We really appreciate you. So join our Discord. That's where we like literally, if you guys like hanging out and talking to me and AJ and Davestation, or any of the rest of Without Parole, or any of the rest of the coolest game cats out there. Literally, I go onto Discord at like 3 a.m. and there's somebody being like just talking about stuff, man. So it's always a cool place to hang out for sure. All right, I think we got to get the ball rolling here.
Oh yeah.
So got lots to talk about.
There's a lot of PlayStation VR news this week, isn't there?
There is.
What's real quick? Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. I was gonna say, Logan Grosvenor. He asked, "Does Gorn have a release date yet for PSVR?" Also, Dave and Bryan loving the beards. But I see me and Dave. But anyways, Gorn does not have a release date. But it does. They are slated for 2019. Is their projection? So they're hoping for 2019 release.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything specific for a while. I think we got to get through summer, and then like there'll be like some kind of cool fall announcement for Gorn. But
that trailer got me so hyped, man. Okay, before we get to the news, real quick as well, J Brat with the $2 donation says this is so you can get extra.
Extra what? What did I get on there?
Toppings.
Extra pizza toppings.
Yeah, extra meatballs, baby.
You never imagine.
Nice. Pretty soon we're going to be getting into tip territory. Like, why did you just give me $50 for this pizza? I was like, the game cats decided you deserve a really good tip.
It's all for you. They all said it was for pizza, and I only wanted one pizza, so it's all yours, man.
Nice.
So first off, Catch and Release has gotten an update. And this game seems to be getting some pretty big updates every now and then. They're still, going strong with it. And this one, what does this one add, Brian?
It adds weather cycles, which is incredible, and I'm so excited. Sorry, Brian, you were taking too long. So that's all I know. There's new fish to catch. There's like weather interactions, so you'll be on a dark, rainy lake all of a sudden, and that sounds fun. I don't know how that works. Is it just random, or can you choose it? Or have you tried it, AJ? You're a big catch and release guy.
I am a big catch and release guy. I haven't tried the update yet, though. I didn't even actually get to see the last update where they added like a plane and some other stuff. But yeah, I've heard from the game cats in the Discord that this weather and stuff. I watched my buddy Sunshine Happy Fun Times play a little bit of it, but it really wasn't like a whole lot. But I'm hearing from people that they really, really like the way it looks, and that it looks great and feels great, and that it adds this whole dark and stormy atmosphere you're
dude,
fishing.
That's so exciting because like I love just the ambiance it has. Like it's so relaxing. It's one of the most chill out games we have. Like by a mile, it's really good.
Yeah.
But if there was a light thunderstorm going on while I was doing that, that's like fucking peak relaxation. That's like beautiful. So I can't wait to check that one out. It looks really cool.
Yeah, sorry about that. When I switched over to the full screen mode, I realized that, again, I had no microphone input at all. So I had to go and add a microphone input on the full screen mode. So anyway, but this footage that you're seeing here is actually from me playing this earlier today. And it was just cool, man. It's like within moments of starting the game up. Like it started up and it was clear and sunny, just like I'd left it. And then like these clouds started rolling in, and then it started drizzling. And then like it just went crazy. Like it was like lightning and thunder and like and it just looks, it's already a good looking game, but man, when you actually see like the water droplets like land in the lake, it's awesome, man. And there's like new fish and like AJ was saying, like the last time they updated this, they added like some other new stuff already. So if you haven't dropped into this game, like there's serious reasons to go back and play it more. It's really good.
And
really
if you
good.
don't already have it, this would be obviously the best time to get it because there's all this new stuff. But it's already a great game. It wasn't on our top 20, but it came close, right?
It was on our top 20.
It was on our top 20?
Like
It was definitely,
19. I knew it was
19.
near the edge, but
Yeah.
it definitely deserves
I fought really hard to get that game on the top 20. What's that noise?
Brian's making a lot of weird sounds.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get my mixer working.
Oh, gotcha. I fought really hard to get that game on the top 20 because it's, the beauty of VR is taking advantage of immersion, and that game is very immersive. It's also a really fun fishing game, which we don't get a lot of. So really unique, really relaxing, awesome game. Definitely check it out. Tim Edwards says, was going to get Catch and Release, but got Immortal Legacy instead. That's okay, man.
Yep.
Immortal Legacy is awesome.
It's totally fine. If you're going to pick one or the other, you can't lose, but Immortal Legacy is awesome.
I don't know if it's just me, but you sound kind of blown out. I know you just did some microphone stuff, but anyways, we don't need to talk about technical issues too much. But yeah, you are blown out. Oh, that sounds bad. Okay.
Are you getting static when I do that? Is that what happens?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, it sounds better now though.
This mixer is all sorts of messed up. But all right, I'll do my best to not blow out anyone's ears.
Oh my God, kill a cell, guys! Kill a cell. Another 15.
God damn, dude.
I keep thinking these must be like
God amongst men.
I keep thinking these must be Canadian dollars or Australian dollars or something, but no, it's 35 real dollars.
Jeez, kill a
hard cash. Yeah.
Real US money.
All right, well that pretty much takes care of Catch and Release, the new update, the weather update, the extra fish. So here's the thing with that. I think Catch and Release has so much potential. It's already really good, but man, if they like stick with this thing and just keep adding a little bit of stuff here and there, like and giving us an excuse to drop in, it's I'll also spend another hour or two with Catch and Release every single week if they keep adding these little additions.
Well, that's actually a really good segue into the next big piece of news, which is Space Junkies got a huge update today, and it's got 3v3 multiplayer, it's got a new mode, it's got a new map. And I didn't get a chance to play it yet, but I saw some people streaming, and it looked like a ton of fun, the 6-player matches.
Yeah.
That's another story of a game where they just keep adding stuff and making it more and more valuable. And the price has been right a few times, on sale. So keep an eye on Space Junkies if you haven't picked it up yet. They're adding a ton of good stuff.
They just released episode 3 today, right? Was that today or yesterday? Today, and it has a new level called the Jail, which is a medium range level, so there's lots of melee. It has a new weapon called the Bowminator, and it's basically it shoots 3 arrows, but then you can charge it up and then shoot 1 super shot. It's got a new mode called Chivalry, where it's all bows only, which sounds kind of fun. They added bots so that if you don't get a match or anything, you can play against bots or just want to warm up. They added a new skin called the Mental Mollusk. It's a new squid. Squid.
I didn't
finally,
know that. I have to be a squid.
The big part of this update, they added 3 versus 3 now, which is
so much better.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like 3 versus 3 is sort of the minimum. I think Megalith taught us one thing, and that's that 2v2 on like any size of decent map is just not enough. It just feels barren and empty. So, That's awesome, man. That's actually an improvement I didn't expect to see coming from Space Junkies. I just figured it was going to be a 2v2 game the whole time. But man, keeping the content rolling in as promised. They're delivering on a promise that, especially when there's rumors that the game didn't sell all that well. It's good to know that they stand by their word no matter what.
Well, yeah, and especially since it's a good game, I like to see them keep going with it because it is a very good game.
I just saw in the chat, Edwin Mahoney says the price is now $20. Is that accurate? Did they drop the game?
I thought I heard about a permanent price drop. I didn't validate that, but he's saying it too. Yeah. I
had seen that they said that it was $14.79 now, but that was actually on Steam. So I scratched that off. So I think there is maybe some kind of discount right now, but that's definitely when you want to pick this game up on some kind of sale because, like I said, it's really good. But $40 is a bit much for it.
Yeah, $40 is way too much at launch, especially with the amount of content.
Kev is verifying this. He says permanent price drop to $20 in the U.S. Guys,
nice. That's
now is the
price.
Time. Get Space Junkies. It is so much fun. They keep adding new stuff, and if we all hop in, there's going to be some good 3v3s.
Yes,
that's right.
Threesomes all the way.
Are we allowed to let a guy call us old cockers? His old cockers? I'm going to allow it. Nice one, Phil Summers.
What was the context of that?
He said, "Evening, me old cockers."
Is that supposed to be like a coxman or something?
Is that supposed to be in term of endearment?
We're some old cockers.
But
I like it.
It's the only issue with having having viewers from outside the U.S. is that I never know what half of them are saying.
Right. All these terms. I'm like, did you just call me a piece of cheese?
Like I love.
Yeah,
I do love you all.
There's certain words we can only. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do love you all. I just don't understand any of you.
Yeah, we gotta be careful.
Hey, what do you think? Is it now that we're 17 minutes into the show? Is it time to give away our first key?
Soon.
Let's do it.
All right. So on PSVR this week, we gave away. We basically said, hey, we're giving away a North American vacation simulator key, and we're also giving a European Mars Alive key. And so everybody flooded the comments in this week and told us which game they wanted, and so let's give away Vacation Simulator.
Good luck, everybody. Vacation Simulator. Somebody was asking about that earlier. I love that game. Some people don't really, it's kind of mixed sometimes about like the mini games and stuff. But man, I love that game a lot. It's a lot of fun.
And Vacation Simulator. Dave, should we announce that there's more to this than meets the eye?
Keep it.
We're keeping
it to yourself for now. Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Okay. Well, then Vacation Simulator goes out to Andrew Nabil. Nabil.
I know that guy.
Absolutely.
I've seen that guy around a bunch. He's always around. Congrats, Andrew.
Around
great job.
A lot. Andrew, I will be following up with you on in the comment that you left on PSVR this week, and I will be asking for your PSN name. Although I'm pretty sure we're already friends on the PlayStation Network. I feel like you've been around that long that we're friends. So the first key goes to Andrew Nabil. We'll get back to the contest a little bit later. Woo. All right, what's up next, guys, for news stories this week?
Next is the giveaway for One Night with Davestation, where he takes you out on a romantic dinner. And no, sorry. Okay. Next, Gran Turismo. All you racer heads out there, I'm sure JD Max is excited to hear this news. But via Madman on Twitter, I found this, and there was a Gran Turismo update, and they've added a new track as well as a Red Bull X 2019. I guess it's a concept car for like a Formula car. So all you racers out there, new track, new car, go check it out. I'm hearing good things about it.
I was looking for a trailer the entire time, and I never found one.
Don't worry. Next update.
Moving on.
Right. So Firewall has been fixed, and it's all is restored in the lands of PSVR land. And
is it?
Yeah, it's getting there. It's still got some work to do, but for sure. But at least the game is functioning right now. I've been playing it, having a blast. But this weekend, if you do not own Firewall 0 Hour yet, you can actually play it for free all weekend. And if you do own it, then there's going to be double XP for everyone. So if you don't own Firewall 0 Hour yet, make sure you check it out. Give it a chance, especially if you have the aim. If you don't, still give it a shot with the DualShock 4, because I know plenty of people that play it with the DualShock 4 and enjoy it. But yeah, take advantage of the double XP weekend and get your grind on, baby.
Yeah, I gotta say, I spent a little bit of time in Firewall last night, and a lot of waiting around in the lobby still. I was hoping that might have gotten sorted out a little bit, but it wasn't. It took quite a while to even get my first game up and running. Still a lot of fun. It's been a while since I spent any significant amount of time with Firewall, so some stuff still seems new to me. And what I will say is that usually when I play, I get dropped into a team and at least one or two people are level 50, and I'm like, you're gonna carry me. Like that's all there is to this. But last night was nice, man. I played with some people who was like one guy's first time playing. Another, two of the other people on the team, their rank was they're like somewhere in the teens. So like they weren't like maxed out at 50, and it was nice to kind of play with people who were average skill level, and so I didn't feel like I was dragging them down. I had a lot of fun. We're just hanging out, having a good time, and man, it's good to see again that there's still a lot of new Firewall players joining every single week.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with Firewall at all. You just got to be prepared to relax a little bit between games, because there's always a bit of downtime waiting for the next round to start.
Well, that's interesting, because when 1.26 came out, I was getting like match after match after match, and then I know they released 1.27 right after, so I don't know if they did something again. I sure hope not.
It could have been just a time of day and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, that game, no matter what time I play, is usually filled, and I imagine this weekend it's going to be even more filled, for sure.
Dan Plays, I just want to give a shout out. He says, "Bryan, I love you because of your love for pizza." I feel like that was the nicest thing anyone has said to me all day.
He was a Ninja Turtle in his past life.
I'm a Ninja Turtle in this life too, just minus the Ninja Turtle part.
Have you guys seen that new Twitter account that just tweets out things that are Wikipedia article titles? You know what I mean? That you can sing to the theme song, like So it'll be like, I don't know. I'll come up.
I've never heard of that one.
It's fucking hilarious. They're really good. They make a logo for each one too.
So wait. So I'm sorry. So all of the titles, all of the Wikipedia article titles, are sung to that theme song?
Yeah, I'll find it for you right now.
Nice.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
World Erotic Art Museum. That's World Erotic Art Museum. List of people from Atlanta, which is list of people from Atlanta.
Nice.
Rockland County Sheriff's Office. These are all just Wikipedia article types.
The one thing I've discovered about the internet since starting a YouTube channel is that people just have way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the Can You Pet the Dog? Did you guys ever see Can You Pet the Dog?
I've never seen the original Can You Pet the Dog. I've just seen every single person's take on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think they're still going strong.
Idea
yeah,
what that is.
It's great. It's a Twitter account that talks about a game and says if you can pet the dog in it or not. So they show a picture of the person and it's like,
I need to follow
pet the dog in Final Fantasy.
Yes.
That guy as well follows up the comment with, "Bryan, I love you for your love of squishies."
Barking up the wrong tree there.
Moving on.
So that's pretty much it for the news, except I think, is it officially summer as of right now?
It's officially summer.
It's officially summer.
I don't know. Is No Man's Sky out yet?
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say, so it being summer officially, now we are going to keep our ear to the ground and listen for the buffalo, because that would mean that Battle Wake beta has opened and No Man's Sky is going to drop at any point.
Yeah.
So we will be stocking those, waiting for those updates. I cannot wait for No Man's Sky and Battle Wake.
And Battle Wake, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, I guess this is less of a news story and more of an announcement, but I'm super duper excited for this game, and this is the trailer right here for it. This is Touring Karts for PlayStation VR, for like PS4, for mobile, for everything. Man, yeah, dude. Like, so I have been dying for Crash Team Racing to come to PSVR.
Oh man, it's really fun on flat screen. I picked it up. I love it.
Nice.
But like, I just don't understand. Like, it just seems like the perfect opportunity for Sony to throw some extra money at Activision and go, give this a VR version, man. Like, just do it. Like, it's Crash, even though it's not like, an exclusive IP to Sony anymore, like it's still is synonymous with like PlayStation 1, and it seems like such an obvious thing to do. So it took Ivanovich Games to be like, hey, we'll make you a kart racer, no problem.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with Ivanovich picking up the slack there and taking advantage of something that we desperately need, which is potentially a really, really good kart racer. I find it really interesting, how many platforms it's on. It has, it's going to have an arcade version. It's going to have a mobile version, a PC version, a PSVR version. They're going to be cross-platform multiplayer. It's going to also support the DualShock 4, the racing wheel, and the moves and the rudder. So they have got this game on lockdown, and I could not be more excited. I've been clamoring for a kart racer. I would have liked Crash, but that's okay. That to me, that game is very nostalgic. That's a lot about like seeing the characters. I love that this is designed with having a first-person view in mind, and you see stuff like that AT-AT from Star Wars, the giant monkey throwing stuff, and the chicken crossing the road, the ramps. All of it looks awesome.
I like that you're excited for the chicken crossing the road.
I'm very excited.
There's a lot of things about this game that excites me. That chicken, not one of them.
That chicken has me stoked, man.
This is exciting. They are saying just fall 2019 on this.
Yeah, so I talked to Ivanovich about it, and it's going to come out this summer first for PC, and then after, and they said they're projecting for around October. So in October, we're probably going to have an awesome kart racer to check out.
And we don't want anyone getting confused, of course. Like, there is a kart racing game out on PlayStation VR already called VR Karts. Man, when that thing launched at $40, it was one of the biggest ripoffs ever. The thing is just too easy, too slow. None of the weapons are impactful at all. The worst thing about VR Karts is that you start it up and you're like, how could this be bad? It's like super colorful. It looks pretty good. You got a first-person view. I'm like, this is gonna be great. And then you hit the gas and you're like, wow, this is boring. Like, even at the moment where you're going as fast as you can possibly go in that game, it's still like, this is too damn slow. Like, when you go up hills, you're like, come on, you're like shaking. You're like, come on, go faster, push. I'm like, I get out and push this thing faster than we're going. Shout out to Wolfie Smith, the Game Cub, for his now I'm all totally confused. £5 donation. Real headstone inscription. Here lies John Steer, who when living brewed good beer. Turn right, go down the hill. His son keeps up the business still. That's real.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Red Panda.
I was nervous when I was reading it because I was like, I didn't read this ahead of time.
I actually just realized what it was, but that's okay.
Thank you for your donation, Wolfie. We love you and appreciate you.
Wolfie is the man.
That's right. All right. So that is touring carts, man. Like, it's funny to be excited for something as ridiculous as this. Like, my one hope is that it doesn't do the VR carts thing and play really slow.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
It's not weird to get excited about it though, because I think everybody loves kart racing games. Like Mario Kart 64 is a game that people I know who don't play video games have fond memories of.
Absolutely.
Kart racers, anybody will play them. Mario Kart's still great to this day.
Sonic Racing Transformed is one of my favorites, and also Mario Kart Double Dash is one of my favorites still.
Double Dash, GameCube. Wow, that's
Double Dash was amazing.
The GameCube had all the best ones, man. Like, it's like even, that was Luigi's Mansion. The original one was on GameCube. What else?
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Melee. I'm like, GameCube was such an underrated system at the time. It's like you really needed to have a GameCube along with your PS2 to be a happy gamer.
Yeah, I love having a Wii just because it can play GameCube games and you can stick a GameCube controller directly in it and it works. That's
also true.
One of my favorite things about the Wii, really.
Except they've removed that feature later on.
Really?
There's so many Wiis out there where they're like, you open the side and it has 4 GameCube ports.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some Wiis that don't have that. So they've removed the ability to play GameCube games at some point or another. While we're on non-VR topic, I just want to say real quick, I bought Bloodstained on Nintendo Switch.
Good call.
And I was laying in bed last night being like, I'll play a little bit of this before bed. And I'm disappointed because it runs it doesn't seem to run very smoothly.
Yeah, the Switch port.
I heard the Switch
it's supposed
one
to be
is
really
not very
bad.
good.
Like, you should have got PS4, honestly.
I just assumed it's not a graphically intensive game. I just figured it was going to be fine no matter what
It's
I bought it
just
for.
so poorly optimized. Apparently, they just didn't know what they were doing.
So buy Bloodstained, but buy it on PSVR. PS4.
Yeah,
PSVR would be great, but
Yeah,
not
PSVR would
Switch.
be great.
Anything but Switch.
At this point, I might just throw in the towel and say. And honestly, like I know it's just the first hour or so, but it wasn't grabbing me at all. I was like, this isn't as Symphony of the Night as I wanted it to be, and it's actually pretty Symphony of the Night, to be honest. So, so I guess nothing's gonna do it at this point. All right, what's next after touring carts? I know we had one more news story.
Did we?
And that news story was that Blade and Sorcery. We got an update on that.
Oh, Blade Sorcery.
Sorry.
It's all right. What do we know about that? Everybody
So-
asks every single day, is Blade and Sorcery coming to PlayStation VR? And what is our answer?
Right. So I hate to end the news on some downside, but I meant to squeeze this in the middle. But Warp Frog has come out on Twitter and let everyone know that there is no plan currently to bring Blades and Sorcery to the Quest or PSVR at this time. So gonna have to wait a little bit longer for any significant update on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. When people ask about it all the time, and I just go, yeah, no, there's nothing yet. I really hadn't checked out any trailers because if it's not a PSVR game, if it's not announced for PSVR, I kind of just don't care. And then looking at this trailer, I'm like, now I see why everyone wants it to come to PSVR because this looks awesome. And the Gorn is the one I'm confused about. When people are so excited about Gorn, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's awesome on PC, but I'm just not super excited. This looks.
It's a similar kind of thing. It's really just like being as gory as possible and chopping people's arms off and doing crazy shit.
But Gorn's like an arena fighter, though, right? This looks like there's an actual adventure here.
It's kind of an arena fighter, isn't it? Blade and Sorcery. I thought you just got into an arena and just fought people.
I don't know, because the environments themselves look like there's more to them. But if that's not the case, if it's just another arena fighter, I'm okay without it. I don't really need that.
I'm not sure about a campaign. I don't know anything about a campaign. All I know is you can cut people's heads off and stuff. That's like everyone's so excited about it. And Gorn is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just way cartoonier.
I mean, bring us back. There we are. Hey, we're back. All right, and that pretty much takes care of all the PSVR news this week. But that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of all the shit we need to talk about.
Oh my god, I have beaten so many games in the past week. It's
jeez,
crazy, man.
All right.
Well, go ahead, toot your horn a little bit. What'd you beat?
Well, Brian, are we going to go ahead and start the rundown of what we've been playing?
Yeah, man. Talk to me, AJ. What have you been playing this week?
All right. So I received my 3D Rudder from the team over there. So thank you, Nicholas, and everybody. And I finally got to demo it a little bit, so I'll be showcasing it some. And been testing it out with a couple games. And because of the announcement of touring carts, the first thing I checked out was Beat Blaster. Mm-hmm. So I got to play Beat Blaster with it, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the game without the rudder, because with the rudder, it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like riding a space hoverboard or something, and I had lots of control. You can't move backwards in the game, but you essentially you're running and gunning throughout the whole thing. It's procedurally generated. I think the biggest surprise for me was that I thought it was like one arcade stage that you just try to get further and further and set a high score. But there's actually a level progression. There's 30 levels, and that was a really nice surprise because you get a break in between, and then you get 30 levels, and then you get to go back and try to set a high score.
Yeah, did you happen to notice my name was still on the leaderboards on the earlier levels? Because there were some early ones that I spent a ton of time trying to get on top of the leaderboards.
Oh, really? No, you know what? I was looking. I think you may have been beaten by now.
Oh, probably. I haven't played since launch.
Yeah. I think some people have surpassed you, which is actually a good sign that there's some competition going on. I was getting top 100 pretty much every time. I think the best I got was maybe around 50, top 50 for one of the levels. But was having an absolute blast with that, man. I don't know what's it like without the rudder, because I tried it for a little bit, and playing with the rudder first was maybe a mistake because it's you have to kind of tilt your head and stuff, and I just wasn't feeling that.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Beat Blaster, but I'm only a big.
Oh, really? I was surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of Beat Blaster.
So you don't watch my reviews and stuff?
Oh, I did watch the reviews.
No, sorry, I have the time to watch every single thing that you post while also doing my own thing.
He makes an awesome comparison to Lawnmower Man in the review. I love it.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't feel like it's too far of a stretch. Also, shout out to Grumpy Agent Gamer, who apparently supplied this trailer. Man, I'll tell you, nothing is more frustrating than looking for the official trailer or something and just finding the people who do nothing but re-upload trailers on their own channel. I was like, thank you so much. I've got a lot of this garbage on my fucking computer now. So the thing is Beat Blaster I think is really difficult to control with the HMD, right? I think there's one option that doesn't work at all for me. There's like this head tilting and then head movement, right?
Right.
And I think
they're both bad though. They're both pretty bad.
Head tilting doesn't work at all for me. Like it's just like it's totally busted. And then head movement, where you kind of slide your head forward and slide your head backwards, that totally worked for me. It just took a while to get used to. And I honestly, like, for me it was all about dual wielding, so I really liked it with both move controllers. And then I didn't really like it with the aim that much. So it's, for me, there was one very specific way that I loved the game, and then all the other options were like, nope. And obviously I'm having issues with my 3D rudder, so like that didn't work at all for me. So every single option, I found one option that was amazing, and the rest of them I could barely play him with. So, what about you, Dave? I'm surprised that you were surprised.
I didn't like it. It didn't click for me in any way. I didn't like the control settings. Like you said, most of them are way too sensitive and essentially impossible to use, and I'm not even sure why they included them as options.
Okay.
Like, they should have just left it the way that you play it, that you say it works. That should be the default. There shouldn't be all these weird options that don't work.
Right.
Because the first few times I was just like, oh, whoa, this is terrible. So the first impression was just bad. And then once I started playing it, I started getting the feel for a different control scheme and getting into it a little bit. But I just don't like the way that the hazards are set up. A lot of times it seems just like totally like throw stuff at the wall and see if it works or not. And like there'll just be these big spinning fans that you can barely see, and all of a sudden you go past one and you're like, I got hit from behind by that thing? What the fuck was that? Yeah. I never knew why I died, is what I'm saying. There's no clear indicator of like, that's the guy that killed me and this is why. So it felt like a crapshoot, but it was also hard. Like, it's hard.
It is challenging. You know what? That was one thing that surprised me. It is a challenge.
The problem is, so there's challenging, and then there's just hard but frustrating to me. Challenging is when I know the stakes, I know what happened, why I died, and how to improve it, and I can surmount that challenge. If I'm just playing a thing over and over again and dying randomly, it doesn't feel like a challenge. It feels like banging your head against a wall. Because if the game's not designed in a way where it's intuitive enough to really teach you, like, okay, well, this is what happened and why, it just feels too random with the deaths. Like, I couldn't really predict what was going to happen. So I just didn't enjoy it. It didn't get to me.
I didn't run into too many, which is fine. Boyd seems to really like it with the aim, which is good. I actually liked it with the aim. The only problem I had was that I like having two hands more and being able to stretch and shoot in both directions. There was like maybe a few cheap deaths I thought I had, but overall, I got really far in it.
Yeah, I remembered the other main issue I had with it is that it seemed like everything in the marketing and the design of the game makes it look like it's a music game, or somehow relevant that it's Beat Blaster, like you would think maybe it would be on the beat, or the enemies would appear on the beat, or you would shoot to the beat, or something like that. Like that Pistol Whip game is what I was picturing Beat Blaster was going to be kind of like that. But here's the thing. It doesn't remind me of that because nothing actually goes to the beat. There is no connection to the music in any way.
It's just
it seems like they slapped a thing that looked kind of like a rhythm game on top of a fairly, random shooting game. That doesn't feel like tied into the rhythm.
Do me a favor, Dave. Try it again with the rudder. Let me hear your thoughts.
I'll give it a shot. I haven't tried it with the rudder. So,
Dave, since we're totally sidetracked from the reason we're talking about Beat Blaster in the first place,
okay.
Why don't we? Have you spent much time with the rudder?
Well, so that's the thing. I actually haven't still.
Okay.
I tried Space Junkies, which I don't know if I mentioned publicly on the other stream, but it didn't go very well with the default settings. I thought I was going to throw up, and I never get motion sickness. Right. So the one thing to be careful about is if you do get a 3D rudder, be really careful when you're setting it up. Even if you play a game for like 2 minutes with what might be the default settings, that motion sickness doesn't go away after 2 minutes. It stays with you, like even if you're just in there for a minute. And so the thing is, you don't feel like you're controlling yourself at first because you're not used to controlling yourself that way. You feel out of control. You're like, why did this do that? When I tilted a little bit, why did I start spinning like a top in a circle for no reason?
Yeah, you need to try it with something with a better frame rate too. Something with like 120 refresh, like Honor and Duty.
Yeah, so
you want to ease yourself into it.
That was one thing I noticed too, was that it allowed me to spin so quickly. And maybe part of it was just that I wasn't in control, but like it didn't look right. It looked like I was going faster than I ought to be going. And the game couldn't keep up. And it was like, my eyes are getting destroyed right here.
I'm curious if you also have metal rods in your floor, because
I
this is very similar to the experience that I'm having with the rudder.
Is that what's happening to you too? Because I've heard other people say Space Junkies is incredible with the rudder. They love it. But the second I turned it on and did the tutorial, I had to get out of there.
Play some other games. Play some other games. We want to know a more in-depth, a more fully fleshed out response from you.
Absolutely, yeah. No, next time around I will have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm working with Nicholas right now to see if there's a workaround for my 3D rudder for my apartment. So I don't have any opinions whatsoever of the 3D rudder because I haven't played it the way it's meant to be played yet. So, but awesome. Really hope that it's working for everyone else. I know that they've started shipping the units at least in Europe. I don't think they're out in North America yet, but I'm really looking forward to hearing all the GameCats opinions about the rudder and seeing if it's something that they like. And on top of that, if it's something that they're going to use on a regular basis. I think that's like the thing I'm more curious about. And also, who else has the same problems that I'm having?
Yeah. No, definitely. I noticed a couple real quick tips on it. And Brian, I told you a little bit about these, but if you lift your feet off of it, don't immediately put your feet back on because you'll start spinning. You need to wait and let it turn off, and then you need to put your feet back on, let it sink.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, man. It looks really good with that PlayStation logo on it, and the box was really nice. So I'll definitely be testing every single game with and without it, so that I can give a detailed description of what it's like in both ways.
I also thought the box was really nice.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
It's a nice box. It looks very official. I think I have it around here somewhere.
Transitioning from the 3D rudder, although still tangentially related somehow. If anybody who tuned in and saw my Sairento live stream, here is the PlayStation VR launch trailer for Sairento. So I struggled and I couldn't find the full locomotion options. As it turned out, the reason that the game was overriding the full locomotion option was because my 3D rudder was still plugged into my PS4 Pro. The fact is that the rudder wasn't even on. It wasn't activated. It wasn't nothing. Wow. But the fact that it was just plugged into the USB meant that running around using the dual moves meant that it overrode the full locomotion option. So when everyone else was having no problem being like, yeah, I'm running around, I'm having a good time, I'm doing my thing, and being like, Brian, why can't you find the full locomotion option? Well, that's the reason, because I had my 3D rudder plugged in, and because of that, it kept me from playing it.
That's
Dude,
rough.
So are we going to talk about Sairento now?
Let's do it, man.
I hope we do. I love that fucking game.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about just a couple things real quick. I did beat the game, and I played it the whole campaign with and without the rudder, and both have their advantages and disadvantages. With the rudder, of course, you have hands-free, so stuff like the bow you can use, and it feels really nice, but without it, you get to stand up, and this game is all about, for me, what I loved is the flipping and the sliding. The controls, I thought no matter which way you play, the controls are going to take some getting used to. You really have to practice, kind of understand them. And did you guys notice how there's like 1,000 settings in there?
Oh my god, I've never seen a VR game with this many options, and
It's
it's a
almost
little
too many.
overwhelming at first. Yeah, you're
There's
like,
a
what does
lot.
this do exactly?
Yeah.
And you have to go out, a few menus back and then load up a game to try it. So you don't always really know when you're in there what you want to pick. But I think I've got mine set up pretty well at this point. And I'm having a great time with it. I agree with you about the controls, but unlike a game like Immortal Legacy, where like you have to get over that hump just to do a basic walking around sort of thing, in this, once you get the controls, you become the biggest badass in the entire world. You're flipping off walls, you're sliding, you're doing slow-mo backflips and shooting a guy in the face. And so like it's definitely worth persevering with the controls till you get it, because you become
there's a lot of games that
killer.
are
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the locomotion scheme they have in this. I actually, even though people ask about and always want free locomotion, you'll barely use it once you get the jumping and flipping down. Like, you don't want to be standing around on the floor with these guys. You want to be hopping over their heads, sliding past them. You're going to be using...
The backflip is so cool.
I love that.
At first I was confused, man.
And sliding.
I was like, why does it do this slow motion thing? And then it seems like really janky when you first do a flip. You're like, why isn't the whole thing in like the same slow motion? It seems like it's just doing it, and then it's randomly slow motion, blah blah blah. But then you realize you're like, oh, while I'm in midair, while I'm upside down, I can actually do a double jump and land like and just totally take down the enemy with blades or guns while I'm coming down. Like, wow, like it is.
And I mean, during that slow-mo part, like if you've got the little submachine guns or whatever, you can just totally unload on people while you're upside down and then do a double jump, like you said, and still knock them out. Like it's crazy how much freedom you have once you get it down.
Yeah, it's not the most fluid controls, but once you learn them, it's like you said, it's definitely worth learning and taking the time. There's also so they have this game broken down into like sections. And you kind of go through a level and you clear all the enemies and then you proceed. This also game it's very colorful. If any fans, I'm a huge Cyberpunk fan.
They nailed the aesthetic.
And I love that it has the neon Tokyo kind of glow to it. It reminds me of kind of like, I want to say like Ghost in the Shell. Like if there was a Ghost in the Shell game, you're playing as this female protagonist, you're going through about a story. It's this really colorful world. At first, it kind of looks kind of generic, but actually, as you go on, the levels start to look even better and better. There's a good variety of enemies, and you can go back and play each level. And you get, I guess, from the get-go, you have all these guns and weapons unlocked. And I really like, what's the name of the thing, the chain with the...
Oh, that's what I use. I dual wield those. It's the Kusanagi or something like that.
I love it. I wasn't really having too much fun with the swords because they're so short range.
It's hard to get up next to a guy and use the sword properly.
Right.
But with that, you get the distance. You can like...
But that you can jump. Like I said, I think the big winner for this game is being able to double jump, the sliding and the backflips. To me, when you jump up and you do a flip and you're like pointing to somebody off in the distance and like doing headshots upside down, flying across a room, that's what makes this game special. And we needed something like it for sure.
Like my favorite thing to do is so the weapon he's talking about is this thing that's like a scythe on a chain, and you can release it and let it go out and swing, and then you can pull it back in. And my favorite thing in the world is to do a double jump and then slide past a guy and just chuck it out as I'm going through. And his body like slices in half, or his head will fly off, or he's missing an arm or something. It's so gory, and it's really fun and over the top. There's just like fountains of blood when you kill guys. It's very much like an old samurai movie or something where like you just see a geyser when you slice a guy. It's very cool.
Yeah, I love the gore and stuff.
And you get extra like style points for that too. The game grades you on your style, so if you're doing a slide and you cut a guy's head off, like you're going to get extra points for that at the end, and it feels really cool to do it. So there's two incentives there. It's really fun.
Yeah, the campaign's not terribly long, man, but like it's definitely worth replaying levels. And then there's all the missions and the challenges that you can go and do. And like, I mean, there's quite
a few stages to choose from in the co-op, which I tried earlier. I tried maybe like 30, 45 minutes of the multiplayer online. And unfortunately, as of right now, there's no invite friend button, which is kind of weird.
That's weird.
But you can still get in lobbies pretty easily because it's one of those things where you host and then you can see a list of everybody hosting, and you could just jump in on your friend's game from there.
Nice.
But it's pretty quick to set up. As soon as you join, it's like ready to go. You pick the stage, the difficulty, and there's like 4 different settings on most of them, which is like either purge, where you got to kill every enemy in the stage. There's like a survival mode. There's wave based, like, you know, they come in waves, and there's like one other one.
That was really
there's
cool.
A lot of stuff to do. It's really fun in multiplayer, and you know, the character models seem to render pretty well. Like, you see your friend, they're not super janky looking. You see them doing backflips. And
is it full body or?
It's full body. Yeah, they got full body.
Nice.
So it's really cool being in there with somebody and hopping around together. And there's actually a surprising amount of teamwork required on the harder ones, because like you got to say, hey, a guy just appeared behind you, I'm gonna come save you, or like you can revive each other during the game. So it's cool. It's a lot more teamwork based than I was thinking. I thought it would just be like a bug hunt where we go around killing till time is up, but you really got to watch each other's back and stuff. So it's a little tactical. I liked it.
I was definitely impressed with all the different modes. After I beat the game, the story of it, and went back and started doing the missions with the additional enemies and everything, the game just gets even better after you beat the regular campaign. One other thing I got to say about this game, though, make sure you take the time to go into the settings. There's a lot of settings, which is kind of like tedious, but it is worth going through and tweaking every setting to your liking.
Yep.
Because I played it with the settings, like just randomly doing it, and then it took me a while, but once I got the settings perfect for myself, it was awesome, and it made a huge difference. For the locomotion speed, you want like 130 to 150 is what I recommend. Even with the rudder, like 130 to 150 for the locomotion speed.
I mean, backflips are turned off by default, which I found fascinating. It was like, like one of the coolest things you can do in this game, and they just, unless you search through.
They're pretty intense though. The first couple times you do them, nobody is used to getting flipped over like that in VR. No game has ever done this to us. So I even got a little bit like, whoa. But then once you get the hang of it and you know what it's going to feel like, it's so much fun to do that. And like flipping sideways off the walls and stuff you can do too, or up to a wall. So cool.
And also, real quick, I know that during my stream I had some misinformation out there as far as when the game's coming out. Just so we have everything clarified, the European digital and physical date is the 5th of July. So I mean, it's like right around the corner. It's early next week. The North American digital is the 9th of July, that changed just in the last few days, because they were supposed to both come out on the 5th. So if you live in North America, it's the 9th of July, and then it's not coming out physically in North America until the 30th of July. So it's quite a wait if you're just waiting for the physical one. But the two dates, the 5th and the 9th, European and North American.
So the other thing I want to mention too is I actually have already seen some people saying, since it's already out in some version on Quest, like, oh, should I wait and get the PSVR, or should I just grab it on Quest? And one thing you got to know going into it is that on Quest it's super stripped down. It's not a campaign. There's no co-op. It's just 5 levels. So it's a lot cheaper. It's $15, and I've heard it's great. But if you have both and you're thinking, oh, I want to have no wires and I want to try it like this because you're a fucking ninja, it's cool in concept, but it's much more limited. So probably just go with PSVR. You'll be able to play with friends, all this other stuff. So
shout out to Shat79, the Game Cat, who gives us a $10 donation. It says, thanks for all the hard work in PSVR dedication. Any chance of Game of the Year picks for you 3?
It's only June. It's only June,
but man, like a mid-year rundown, trying to figure out. I honestly don't even remember which games came out.
That's going to be the hard part.
I'm going to say Immortal Legacy. That's all I can say because that's the one I've liked the most this year so far. Like off the top of my head, Immortal Legacy.
Oh man, it's tough.
Is it Blood and Truth for you, Dave?
I don't know. That just popped into my head. If we were, but we're.
You're cutting out a little, Dave.
Yeah, you're cutting out. You want to start over?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if it is my number one. Probably not. You know what's weird to say? Sairento has burrowed into my brain. I know I just started playing it like yesterday, but when I was going to sleep the other night, I was like laying in bed, and all I could picture was just hopping off this wall, and then finding a spot on this wall to hop onto.
Nice.
And it became like when you play too much Tetris and you see the blocks.
The Sairento
Like I was just
effect.
seeing places to jump off of. And I feel like I'm going to play that one a lot. I really love it once you get it going, like once you figure it out. I don't know if it's my best of the year, but it's really, really, really good.
Polish Ball says his favorite is Slumball.
Who keeps inviting that guy? It's ridiculous.
I honestly, some of the games we're talking about tonight are probably my game of the year. If not for these, it's got to be between like Blood and Truth, Immortal Legacy. But I have a feeling it's going to be No Man's Sky once that drops.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah. All right, I think it's probably time to move on to a very interesting little experience that came out this week. You guys,
Very interesting.
I think
you
all
know
of
how
us,
I love interesting stuff. I really love interesting stuff.
I think all of us spent some significant time with Spider-Man. So hold on, I got some footage here we can swing into.
I can't believe we're just now talking about Spider-Man. Man, it slipped my mind.
Yeah, well,
man,
it's Spider-Man.
I don't know if anybody's as excited about this experience as I am.
I had a great time with it.
I know it's a little rough around the edges. Some of it looks like graphically kind of wonky, and it's got a few technical hiccups here and there. But man, the concept of it is like everything that I would want from a Spider-Man experience. Running, jumping off skyscrapers, swinging around. Then it goes and includes a story mode, which is just one mission. But then, there's the combat trials, the time trials, which are really fun, except for like one that's like brutally difficult. and then, of course, I also really, really enjoyed doing collecting the pins, because you kind of just get to explore, swing around, have some fun. So visually, maybe it's not that spectacular, but I was thoroughly impressed with this experience, and really hope to see more. I would love to see a full game like it. Absolutely.
Yeah. During my live stream, I was struggling with the controls quite a bit. I was, because if I remember correctly, it's like X to run forward, which I don't think any game has ever used before, ever.
I think it's X or circle. You can choose. Like, there's two different face buttons. You can choose which one you want. But.
And then the move button was jump. And then the only thing that actually felt natural to me was shooting the webs with the triggers. So I was definitely struggling with that a little bit. And then there's nothing like a bunch of people watching you act very un-Spider-Man like during a Spider-Man live stream. And, like using both webs, shooting at buildings, like shooting both webs at the same place, and everyone's like, you gotta alternate and swing left and swing right. And I was like, yeah, I'll get there, man, but like let me be my own Spider-Man. And so today I went back into it, without the pressure of people watching and just being able to wander around. And Will had been giving me advice on how to find the pin tracker. And that's what I did. The first thing I did was go to the very end of the city, found the tallest building as you suggested, got the pin tracker, and then I just went to random buildings, put my hand up to my head, did the little what is it, sonar or tracker or whatever the heck it is, scanner, thank you, and you see these like distant yellow beacons and stuff where the pins are, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna head on over there, and man, just traversing the city is so much fun. And I got a level of enjoyment out of it today that I didn't yesterday. So this was a lot of fun. And as Dave was saying, once you get the mechanics down, just being able to do a 90-degree turn and go around the buildings seamlessly, there's something very special about that.
Yeah, if you catch by the end, after playing an hour or two. I was getting the controls down even more, and you can tag the corner of a building perfectly and use that momentum to swing around it really fast. And yeah, it just felt really good. I would love to see those guys from Electric Hat Games, help these guys to work together and make something, I don't know, like a PS5 launch title or something. But it has me kind of hopeful for. It honestly, I thought part of it was maybe some assets left over from Iron Man, or the same kind of assets, and they just kind of reused them a little bit. And they were here's a free thing. Obviously, this was made to promote just the movie, but damn, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And with an open mind, you can have a lot of fun with this thing.
Well, it's hard not to be open-minded to something that's totally free. By the way, guys, it's free. Go get it. And there's lots of unlockables and stuff like we're talking about. You can get 4 different suits total, I think. And if you're on Pro, you can actually look down and like see your body swinging around while you're in the air, which is, I think, a really cool feature, the way your legs like kick up. But some people have said on original that doesn't happen.
Yeah, on the original PS4, you don't. It just shows your arms and forearms, I think. On everyone on a PS4 Pro, it'll show like the full body swinging with it.
I think it weirds me out a little bit when I like the body looks good, like when especially like when it's doing like a dramatic swing and you can see like everything from the torso down. You're just like this legs up and like, wait a minute, but that's not where my legs are. And so like there is a little bit of disconnect when I'm standing in my living room just like this, and then I see my legs thrown out in front of me. I'm like, I appreciate that it's there, but I'm like, it doesn't totally work.
I love it. I know it too. I'm usually the one that like is really lenient on thing, and I'm like, this is strange, but I loved like trying to take different angles to try and make the body like contort.
Oh yeah, ways. Dude, I was riding around on the back of a taxi because you can just hook onto the cars. And you can just ride them like it's Jet Set Radio or something. And I kept trying to kick my leg up so I would like be kicking the back of the taxi just for fun. It's a really cool little thing to play around with, and they do nail that feeling of what it's like to move around as Spider-Man. Like once you get the controls, it does have a little bit of that feeling from the PS4 Spider-Man of just like the first time you figure out the movement system and you're like, oh, this feels fucking good. Yeah. Like I'm Spider-Man now. And so as a proof of concept, like if they can pull off something with Iron Man where it feels as good and it feels like you are that character in the movement scheme, as well as they did here, but then with a full game with better NPCs standing on the street, and it's really janky when you get down to the ground level. But,
you're obviously not supposed to be on the ground very often.
Yeah, I know, because there's like 3 of the same guys standing in one corner staring at the wall, not moving. Yeah, dude, like it's ridiculous.
I'm glad they're there though. I remember you saying you weren't crazy about them being there, and
they're so
glad
stupid.
They're there.
It reminded me of like Roller Coaster Dreams or something.
It just to me it looks better. I like seeing a car in the street. I like when the streets are empty. It feels a little dull.
It still does feel pretty empty. I gotta say, the city feels. That's the biggest downside. Is like all the buildings kind of look the same. Some are taller than others, but they all pretty much look the same. And the streets are pretty nondescript. There's not a whole lot of like landmarks or foliage or stuff going on. But it's a free demo, and as far as jumping around as Spider-Man, it's fucking great.
You're right.
So
if I'd
don't
paid
sleep
for
on
this
one. It's great.
If I'd paid for this, I'd be like, man, there's some really important things that are lacking.
Yeah.
But as a free experience, man, like they nailed it.
It's awesome.
Like, and I think I was saying during my stream that if you really want the sensation of like of this but better, Windlands is the way to go. But man, I haven't played Windlands since it came out, I think, or ever since they added move support. So I'm curious to go back and see if I actually believe my own statement.
I can't get on board with that. I'm all for this. Maybe it's just this. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm always this kind of skeptic, or not the skeptic, the critic of my group of friends, because they're all like, they can tell you what issue of what comic book came out in what year and what happens, and like I'm just like, I just like good movies. But I've always been kind of critical on like cheesiness in movies, and every time a superhero in a movie jumps out or figures out their superpowers and the first thing they do is woo, I've always been like, hey, I'm tired of seeing this. It's so cliche. The first thing I did when I jumped off the building, I was like, woo!
I did the same exact fucking thing,
I was like,
man.
I totally get it now.
Yes.
Like, it totally opened my eyes. So, man, it nailed that for me.
Well, to follow up on that, I will say the first time I even pushed the jump button in Windlands, I was like, whoa. Like, it made my stomach, my stomach didn't quite go with me on that first jump. And so, I mean, of course, that was like a launch title, I think. And so, going back 2.5 years and being like, the inexperienced Bryan Paul VR gamer, like, who knows? I'm dying to get back into that and see if like how it compares today. So definitely stay tuned for that, because I'll be checking that out again soon.
I think Windlands definitely gives you the opportunity to mess yourself up a lot more than Spider-Man. Like, you're not going to get a really bad pit of your stomach feeling in Spider-Man. shit that you can accidentally do in Windlands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you think you're doing something fancy and then you get stuck to a thing and start bouncing back and forth really fast, and then you just, it can get really intense.
Sure.
But I think the swinging mechanics are really good in Windlands, actually, if you revisit it. I think it holds up. And I'm looking forward to the second one. I hope we get that on PSVR.
Yeah, it's they kind of went radio silent on that, but we'll be looking to see what happens with that soon, I'm sure. Guys, I got to ask, did either of you play Counterfight 3?
No, I've played the first two, but I haven't played the new one. Did you pick it up?
Not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea.
Counterfight's kind of fun. It's silly. It's cheap. This one's 15 though, right?
Yeah, the first ones were both under 10, right?
Yeah.
Like one was like 8 and the other one was 10, I think.
I think the only game I've ever enjoyed doing like food stuff in is Job Sim and Vacation Sim. Yeah. I worked at Domino's for 3 hours and quit, and I've never done anything in the food industry ever again.
Oh wow, that is baffling. My whole life has been in the food industry, the service industry, so that's like mind-boggling to me. So here's the thing. I'm hold on a second. This isn't what I want to show. So I'm showing the trailer right now, but what I really want to show is some of the issues I was having. That's weird. Maybe I didn't actually do that. Oh well. You know what? I'm just gonna switch over here. Don't mind.
I'm gonna let my cat in. Meowing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
While you're doing that, I do want to say that of this week, for the games that came out, we've got some more to talk about. But Spider-Man Experience was definitely the big winner this week.
Right on. So, like I said, I don't know where the footage went, but I did capture some footage of me playing Counterfight 3, and I'm a big fan of the first one and Samurai Edition. It gets really frantic, really fast, and it's fun. Just trying to keep order in the chaos. I spent like an hour playing this game today, and man, it's got some serious issues. Like, this is not nearly as polished as the first two games.
Interesting.
It even seems like there's like a frame rate issue where like things don't move the way they're supposed to. On top of that, there's tons and tons of collision detection problems. So there's like this basket that hangs to your right with lobsters. And so, like, people come in, they want a lobster pizza, right? And all you're supposed to do is reach to the basket, grab a lobster, and throw it on the pizza, and then throw it in the oven. But every time I try to grab a lobster from this basket, it goes swinging, like, all the way across the restaurant, and then swinging back. And, like, you keep trying to grab it, and the thing just keeps, like, flying all over the place. And I'm like, I just want to grab a lobster out of this. I'm not trying to, like, bat it like a cat or something. Wow. And the collision detection problems just get worse and worse on top of that. So it's like, hopefully they'll patch it, because I don't think it's any better than any of the other Counterfight games. But man, if you like other Counterfight games, you're gonna like this. I just say maybe you should wait for a patch. In the trailer, they just showed sprinkling the cheese on top of the pizza, but you can make an extra cheese pizza. And so it takes a little while for the cheese to register that it's like on the pizza, but then it only takes like 2 seconds after that for it to become an extra cheese pizza. And you're like, I just ruined the pizza because I've made it extra cheese and I didn't want to. So right now there's definitely some issues. And before I stop talking, another shout out to Wolfie Smith, the Game Cub. He said, I got to be up early, so off to bed. Bye, all. Thank you very much for the next
later, Wolfie.
Later,
additional donation, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
So I would say if anybody's interested in Counterfight, like they saw this new one's coming out and it looks cool. Samurai Edition, I think, is the second one.
Yep.
That one seemed less buggy than the first one, easier to play, and I like that one better. So if you're going to get one Counterfight, probably Samurai Edition is the one for now until they patch the other one.
Yeah, I think either of the first two are great. I think Samurai Edition was my favorite, though, too. This one, I can't believe they're charging $15 for it. If $10 is a much better price for it. And again, don't buy it until they patch it.
Yeah.
All right, but since I'm the only one who played that this week, what else have we played, guys?
So I checked out. Let's see. Well, let's talk about Medusa and Her Lover.
God!
For a minute.
If we must.
We got a funny story. Real quick shout out to Rody. Says, how about a shout out to Right Pop? He doesn't give it enough shout outs. I agree. Shoot for the fences, Right Pop.
Shout out to Right Pop. Why not?
Shout out to Rody too, and all the game cats out there. You guys are the best. So I played Medusa and Her Lover. and this game is a kind of a strange one. It kind of has like kind of like a Ni no Kuni aesthetic to it, like, but not as good. Ni no Kuni looks really good. This game just looks okay, but it's that same kind of anime art style. And there's actually some things I kind of liked about it. But first, let me tell you about the adventures of Davestation and God Cannon that we had. We tried to. This game has local co-op. Essentially, what you do is you're with the DualShock 4. You control two different characters at once. One, you're with the left joystick, you're controlling Medusa, who you play from a first-person perspective, and then when you move her, it goes out of the first-person perspective. With the right joystick, you play as I think Gaius was his name, and then you run around with him on the right joystick, and you press X, and then you can button mash and attack, hack and slash. And then with Medusa, you just look at things, and they turn to stone if you look at them in the eyes. And so Dave and I tried to play this over share play, where I shared to him my controls, and we actually had it working for a minute.
Briefly, I moved around for a second, but the thing is that we were both stuck to his view, so I couldn't tell what the hell I was doing. It was like impossible to figure out. There wasn't like a separate social screen view for me there or anything.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny how if you look at Medusa's lover, Gaius or whatever, he does turn to stone, and she lets out this like this like really high-pitched scream. It's very much like an anime in the way it's written. I will say it has some epic JRPG fantasy music. Whoever did the soundtrack for that game, like, really good job. That music in that game really gave me the feels of some really awesome epic JRPGs that I've played in the past. But gameplay-wise, it actually was kind of fun at first. I was like, it's not so bad. It's weird. It's funky. It's not great, but it's kind of a cool concept. Like, it's a lot better on paper than what it is actually playing it. But really, it doesn't take much skill to get past the level. You run up to something, you hack and slash it 3 times. There's bosses in it somehow, and it's the same thing for the bosses. You just run up, slash them, and you keep walking to these points. And I think the most disappointing thing was that I paid $20 for this game, and I beat it in about 30 minutes.
Real quick, let's give a shout out to Dennis Rhodey.
We already gave a shout out to Rhodey. We did this.
Oh crap, my bad. I'm here trying to fix 720 videos. And I was like, oh no.
They said the music is really loud. I don't know if you... Okay.
Fixed. Sorry.
Sorry guys. But yeah, the combat is very generic. It's a cool concept, and I actually liked some of the charm of the JRPG stuff. I'm not the biggest anime person, but sometimes I really can get into it and enjoy it. It was kind of silly, fun, but really, this game you probably want to avoid unless it's like $2. If you get it for like $2, you might enjoy it.
And so what you guys probably didn't hear a second ago because the music was blaring is that he said he beat the whole game in 30 minutes. So I think you guys probably didn't hear that. People were asking what he said because it was too loud. But yeah, the gist is it's $20 for 30 minutes. It's janky. It's hard to control. Seems weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the Japanese version for like about maybe a half an hour or something. Didn't realize that I was that close to the end. And then it is just difficult, man. Like you would think looking at these screenshots, they could very easily make some kind of third-person platformer with a camera that follows behind the character, but instead it's a lot of like static camera angles where you're just watching your character run off into the distance, and it makes things very, very difficult.
I also love how it has that worm monster in it again. That we've seen that worm asset like 3 times already.
Oh, was he in Eden Tomorrow?
No, it was in Quiver, it was in Darkness Roller Coaster, and now it's in this as well. And
it's got to be a Unity Store asset, or
it is. At least they did something to it in this one. They added a little bit to it, but yeah, if you're interested in it, if you like JRPGs and stuff, grab it when it's like $2.
You keep saying JRPG, but there's literally
doesn't seem at all like a JRPG.
It's not.
It's just the music. If you like JRPGs, listen to the soundtrack and don't buy the game.
There you go.
Watch the trailer over and over.
Dave's got you there. Yeah. But it's got, like I said, it's got kind of the charming aesthetic to it. But yeah, it's something you don't have to play by any means. But maybe if it's like $2, check it out.
But that's still not all the games we got to talk about this week, is there?
No. I
still got one more.
Project Lux. Is that what you're going to talk about, Project Lux?
We can talk about Project Lux.
Please
But
do.
somebody give Hugh Guyver a shout out while I get that all up and running.
Hugh Guyver.
Big
We got
shout out to
$85.
Hugh
Is that
Guyver.
Australia?
I wonder if he's related to Mick Guyver. Are you related to Mick Guyver?
Mick Guyver? Is that what you said? There's a guy named Mick Guyver.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, that's my brother.
I don't know. They sound like they could be related. We also got to talk about the Moss DLC real quick before.
Project
we should
Lux
talk
is up
about
and
that first.
Project Lux is up and running. Sorry, we're doing this first.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Let's talk about another short game. Right?
Yeah, you want to kick that one off, Brian? I feel like you played through the whole thing, right?
I didn't play through the whole thing because I couldn't really stand it.
Neither could I. It was bad. It was very bad.
Really
I
bad.
avoided this one.
Like the quality from top to bottom, just there's nothing solid about this. They're charging, what is it, $25 for this?
Yes, it is $25. It's very odd.
The graphics are not good. There's no English voiceovers at all, so you're reading everything. And in VR, I don't mind reading in VR, but man, when the entire game requires you to read every single word of dialogue, it's just a little much.
Well, the other thing too is for $25, these subtitles are busted. First of all, there's always a black box in front of you, even if nobody's talking.
Okay.
So that's terrible. And then the second thing is that sometimes people be talking for like a full minute, and they're still on the last subtitle from what the last guy said that was just like, "Oh, I see." And so you miss all of that dialogue, and then it just jumps ahead, and it's like they're not subtitling certain parts. They're leaving a ton of shit out, and then it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to get into when you got to stare at that little black box the whole time.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, for some reason, you're just stuck to this one camera position the entire game, pretty much. And she'll walk to the other side of the room and still talk to you. She just gets really quiet, and you're just like, I'm no closer to her. I can barely look at her. I can barely hear her. She's all the way over there. Why is this designed this way?
Right.
But there's just like nothing to do, really. The story is not that exciting. It seems like some techno babble nonsense. Like,
And
what
it's
if everyone's brain was in a computer?
Right.
And then that's it. Oh, there's one girl left who can make art. I don't know. It was silly. It wasn't engaging at all.
And then it's over. It was like not even 2 hours?
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I didn't finish it yet either because I didn't get into it
Yeah.
as well. I was not liking it too much. So yeah, people have said like, oh, visual novel. It's like a visual novel. But in my experience, a visual novel isn't just standing in one spot, watching everything play out with no scene changes, no other characters. This is just like you're sitting in a room and this lady talks at you for quite a long time, but not long enough because it's $25.
Yeah.
So.
Give me Danganronpa 1, 2, 3. Give me those in VR. Those are visual novels that are actually fun to play.
Well, and here's the thing: they had that the demo, or not a demo, it was like a free experience for Danganronpa, wasn't it?
Right, the court trial thing, right?
That was such a good way to do a visual novel because it was actually visually exciting, different scenes, different characters, a lot going on. This is the most tedious, boring way to do a visual novel. Like it's bad. Imagine. If anybody has seen a visual novel, imagine just one character in one location and just the text changes for the entire visual novel. Like, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah. Fries and Chip said, I bought the physical release for Lux. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, that's limited run games. They'll get you before it even comes out. They're like, oh, you got to get this one.
Yeah,
I will say, though, I got the Accounting Plus Deluxe Edition. I'm really excited about that. I've never bought a limited runs game before, but that Tree Guy plush, the little secret coin, it's going to be cool. And I want the soundtrack too. That'll be good.
I took the bullet with Medusa and Her Lover so that you guys could take the bullet for this.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, I don't think I paid for it. I think they sent me a code.
No.
Oh,
I paid for it.
Let's see.
So, oh man, we still got a couple games left. Holy crap.
We still got stuff
wait, you
to
know
do
what?
for sure.
It's probably a good time for another you want to do one of those?
So Dave, here's the problem. As things always do, they go horribly wrong.
What happened?
So there was actually a code that was just revealed accidentally on the screen.
Did you just show the Discord chat again?
All that was shown was just the code you sent me.
Oh my god!
Because here I am trying to like make 720 videos playable, and if anyone happened to catch it, Well, I think here's how we're giving this one away. If anyone saw that code, that's another Vacation Simulator key. That is for the North American release.
Damn it, you spoiled it. Well, so I had a code to give away too.
Exactly.
I was going to throw one in the pot. I had an extra Vacation Sim.
You guys.
And I felt like giving it away here on this show for you guys. And thanks a lot, Bryan.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So what are we doing now? If somebody... You can't give it away because if somebody saw it, then it's like...
Exactly. That's why... So if anybody saw the key while it was up on the screen...
Put it back up on the screen again. At this point, just first come, first serve. This is a North America key for Vacation Sim.
First come, first serve. If anybody was swift enough to grab it, they grabbed it. And if not, then I guess you have to wait for the video to go live.
I'm bummed about the way this went down, but I'm glad you won it.
What's going on over there? Which way do I need to look? Do I look to my left or... What are you guys doing over there?
You're looking at Dave.
I leave for 2 seconds. I'm hanging out with my dude Spazza and talking to Nicholas. What's going on?
Well, Bryan messed everything up again.
As always, that's all I do here is mess everything up. Yeah, so that's how things work. But you know what? So let's do a proper giveaway. Because since I screwed that up, let's make this section of the Gamescast worthwhile, and let's give away the final key, which. And sorry, Dave.
Good luck, everybody.
This key is for Mars Alive, the European key for Mars Alive. Is for the fortunate person who gets that. Can we get a drum roll?
I will be.
Wait, I got a drum roll, and then you kept talking. What happened?
Sorry. What am I supposed to do? Oh,
you're supposed to let me give this key away.
And the winner is.
Another Andrew. Andrew Fury. F-U-R-E-Y. He gets the Mars Alive European key.
Andrew Fury.
Congratulations. I hope you like energy bars.
Snickers specifically.
Up a lot of them.
I'm not gonna lie.
Snickers is not an energy bar, Bryan. What did you just say? Snickers?
That's what the label looks like.
It says energy.
But the label is those colors, man. It is the colors for Snickers, and it is even like the logo for Snickers, which is a little disappointing. I don't think that Snickers is an energy bar of any kind. So.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I'll be honest with you, man. There is something about this game. Like I've been thinking about this game on occasion where I'm like, man, like I really want to find some time to play it because it is probably the most boring game ever made. But there's something about it that just seems like fun to just casually walk around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's nothing to do when you're casually walking around. Just there's plenty of other games where you can walk around. What about Mind Labyrinth? If that's what you want to play, Mind Labyrinth.
But here's the thing. There's less to do in Mind Labyrinth. There's less to do in Perfect. There's less to do in a lot of games. And so at least when you're just wandering around, you always have a destination. And when you get to the your hope is that by the time you get to the destination, you're still alive. And then also, then there's resource management, and then there's crafting. And I mean, this game is boring as hell. But man, there is something very addictive about it. And none of this trailer, somebody called this trailer a vertical slice. I think that was on Reddit. Somebody called this a vertical slice, and I was like, no, that is totally inaccurate. This is just a false CG trailer. Because nothing.
I want to see what they show in this because there is no exciting stuff in the game. Literally, there isn't a part in the game that is exciting.
No, absolutely.
None of it is exciting.
Also,
I got the most excited when I saw the little bathroom because it was really funny how small it was. But that's all I got out of it, really.
Music gives us a $2 donation. It's a shout out to Polish Paul.
There we go.
I mean, that is interesting.
We really got to ban that guy.
I mean, if he's bringing in the money, man, then I'm like, whatever.
That's true, actually.
I like music.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Music is great. Shout out to music.
Not I love music or music this or grunge music or just music. Cool.
Nice. Nicholas is actually from 3D Rudder is here, and he said Zing just got updated with the Rudder support, or
cool.
Maybe
I like
it's
that.
It's either already out or it's coming soon.
If we're talking about 15-hour games where you walk around casually and do things,
Zing
is exactly the proper game for that.
I always say Zing is amazing, and it's so weird to say that, but it's true. I love that game to death.
Yeah, that game's great. So here's the thing. I was kind of looking through our top 20 list and seeing games like Catch and Release and seeing games like Bridge Crew and seeing games like Zing that unfortunately aren't going to stand a chance during the next top 20 list.
It's not, man. It's not. Like, it's going to be brutal. Our next top 20 list is going to be so epic. We're going to be here for probably 5 hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like trying to figure this thing out, because
we're going to have like a Saturday or something. Like
we're going to have to make some awful sacrifices. But at least we got them on the last list. So at least we got that, which I'm happy about. But man, we've had a lot of good games that have come out, and they are going to be on that list for sure.
Inuchan PSVR Gaming says, "Wow, Wraith VR just released today in the EU. How long has it been out in the US?" Dude,
that's like hilarious.
A year. Like I forgot about Wraith.
Maybe at least like 7-8 months.
You know, I just saw what's his face? I saw Seraphim playing Wraith the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck is he playing Wraith for?"
I saw that.
Why would anybody play Wraith for any reason at this point in time?
Hey like, man, it could be on sale. It could be.
Yeah, but it's also even on a sale. Don't get Wraith.
Yeah, I know.
Get Brookhaven. If you want something like that, get Brookhaven.
Brookhaven is infinitely better, but as like a Brookhaven imitation. I think I kind of enjoy it. It's something about that real-time store where like you have to make decisions like on the fly very, very quickly. But yeah, it's a rough game. Hopefully it's not more than like $5 or something like that. I think it was 10 here in the States when it launched, but man, like five at most.
I like that idea, Paul. That's the first smart thing Paul said tonight. He wants us to call it the brutal top 20 PSVR games list.
The brutal top 20 because it's going to be so brutal.
The most brutal, yeah.
Yeah. Nerfin, I will figure out a way to send you one of these shirts. I don't know how, but I will buy one for you and figure out a way to send it.
Oh, hey, show us something else from the swag box.
Yeah, what's happening with the swag box?
Yeah,
so I think we're gonna do that whole show. I want more swag.
So there's a scarf.
Hey, looking good.
Look at all these colors.
Wow, it's a lot of patterns.
So you'll be able to win the scarf. There's this bag, which it's a bag. I don't really know a lot about bags.
They hold things. That's what they're designed for.
Is it? Would you call it like a messenger bag, a canvas
No, I told you I don't know a lot about bags.
You don't know much. Is that a blanket?
This is the blanket.
Oh, I want the blankie. Hold on.
And also we're gonna have this. This was part of it too, where you guys can get that. It's a statue of a DualShock, and then you have this PlayStation mug in the back. So all this stuff's gonna be available. And like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, whenever random crap like this pops up, I retweet it. So if you follow me on Twitter at GodCannonPSVR, you can buy some of this ridiculous crap as well.
Yeah,
ridiculously awesome.
Can you put the DualShock 4 statue like up to the camera? I was
yeah.
Oh, actually,
look at that.
I know, right? It's not DualShock. It's just the original PlayStation 1 controller.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Does that weigh
Very
like
true.
Nothing at all? It looks really.
It weighs nothing.
Empty plastic or something.
It weighs nothing at all, but it is sweet.
Have you guys held a PlayStation 1 controller recently?
This is almost. Yeah, I was gonna say this is almost what the size of the original PlayStation controller was.
No. It feels so strange, and it's ridiculously lightweight. Like it doesn't feel like it has anything inside of it. It's very strange.
You know, the funny thing is it didn't have that much shit in it because, like, you know, there was no analog stick, there was no vibration thing. All the motors for vibrating, I feel like that takes up a lot of space in a controller.
This is not for giveaway.
What is that? Who is that guy?
It's a red. You know who this is? You don't know who this is?
It's blurry. I can't see it.
It is blurry.
You got too close. Oh, that's Red 13 from fucking Final Fantasy. Yeah, boy.
Darn right. I paid like $7 for that from China.
Very cool. I wonder if I have any little figure.
Some of the other swag. There's a pin.
God, there's so much goofy stuff around here.
Yep. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be telling how to give that stuff away at some point. So
there's been a Master System game sitting on my desk for like literally 2 years. So it's a reproduction too. I've got a ton of real ones, but this one is Tales Adventure. Which
does kind of look like a newer. Yeah, that label is way too fresh.
Actually, that looked really strange on camera. It's not that shiny.
It's so shiny on there.
It's not really that shiny in real life. But Tales Adventure was only a Game Gear game, and so I got this as a repro like years ago, and it's been sitting on my desk ever since. Like I've never even put it into my Genesis with a drive converter. Never even played it. Ridiculous. All right, guys, there's definitely more stuff to talk about. And one in particular, I think that we need to talk about. Dave, I don't know if you have any anything to say on this one, but I know that AJ and I do.
Okay. I don't know yet because I don't know what it is. What is it?
Next week is the release of Scraper First Strike, and
you were cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, he said Scraper.
Yeah, next week I am so excited to talk about this game, you guys, because Scraper First Strike is coming out next week. Kev Gret, you were talking about all these 2-hour $20 games that are happening too much. Well, here you go, my friend. Ask and you shall receive. Calling all fans of Deus Ex and Cyberpunk. I know we've got Sairento. I don't care. I'm a firm believer that you need to be saving your money, download the Spider-Man experience this week, and use that money you save to buy Scraper and Sairento next week, because this is a really, really cool, another Cyberpunk game that's very lore-based. But a lot of the lore you won't actually find in the story. A lot of it is written in books and stuff. But the game will basically focus mostly on the action that happens. And unlike Sairento, this is more of a dark and gritty kind of cyberpunk game. And essentially, you're going to be traveling down a building and going through different levels of the building. For everyone who played Die Hard Trilogy on PS1, it's kind of like that.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, you basically...
Continue, because I love Die Hard Trilogy. You got me too excited now. I'm going to be disappointed if it's not as good as Die Hard Trilogy.
No. But no, it's pretty cool where, unlike Sairento, which is in sections, this is going to be like a floor that you explore, and it's more mission-based where you have basically a big mission to do on each floor. There's lots of enemies, and there's action RPG kind of combat where you can add different stats to your character. And it makes a slight difference, but it does eventually become abilities and upgrades that you need towards the end of the game, absolutely, because they get kind of harder. But this is by far good.
Can I stop you real quick? I'm curious.
Yes.
I had to step away to let my cat in. But so, did you play it yet, or are you just about it?
I have beaten Scraper First Strike.
Oh, so you guys have keys already? I didn't know they had keys yet.
Yes.
Like I gotta go bug some devs.
Yeah, they're a little light.
Okay.
But we worked hard and we're able to acquire some. And I am so excited about this game, man, because, like I said, I'm a huge Deus Ex fan. Bryan, go ahead and share a couple more thoughts, and then I've got some more to share on this game as well.
Yeah, the entire time you're in Scraper, it's you're in this little pod, which is interesting because I think that's going to alleviate motion sickness for a lot of people who do suffer from that. So if anyone's seeing sort of full locomotion, I think they're going to be okay with it either way. There's something very cool about this pod that you're in as you kind of move around the environments, because it's very tactile. Your dashboard itself, there's a handle right in front of you on the dashboard. You can just grab it and lift the entire thing up and down. So all the buttons and all the gears and stuff that you can interact with, you're moving those to kind of make it a little easier. And I know that's just kind of it feels like a VR setting or something like that, but because it's right there in game, just grab the handle. They do it in Vacation Simulator as well, so it's the same kind of deal. But this is, when you want to regenerate your shield, there's this handle in the. It's not just you're clicking a button on your move controller. There's a handle in the vehicle that you pull a lever, and then your shield regenerates. You've got this mega attack thing again, where it's another handle that you pull down, and you see these lights on it that regenerate. So everything you're doing feels very tactile. So even though what you're doing from moment to moment might be sort of, it's fun because you're exploring environments, looking for things and discovering blueprints so you can level things up and create new weapons. But what you're mostly doing is just going from room to room, destroying enemies. But it's because of this tactile feel that the entire thing just feels different than anything you've played before. So I didn't finish the game. I'm only a couple hours in, but I'm definitely enjoying it quite a bit too.
There's something that a lot of games that keep kind of teasing boss fights, that you finish the floor stuff, you eventually have a boss fight, and then you end up and the final boss is the boss fight of the game. This game actually has a couple bosses you can fight, different, like I said, floors to explore, different stuff to upgrade, and it uses lots of controllers. I played my favorite was definitely, this was another one that I loved with the rudder, because you're actually if you look down in the pod, it shows your feet and your control, and it's got your feet on some pedals. So it actually feels more immersive that way. And speaking of immersion, like using the moves, like you said, you're pulling levers to do like special attacks. You're pulling this in the middle of a fight to recharge a shield. You've got your guns that you're aiming at and shooting stuff. And there's lots of cool stuff. I also played with the DualShock 4 last night. I went back because I wanted to make sure I covered everything. And played with the DualShock 4. It feels really good with the DualShock 4 as well. So if you don't have the moves or the rudder or anything, just play it with the DualShock 4. It feels like you're controlling this little pod like that, and it's pretty sweet. This game is also going to be $20, which is great. And there's actually a lot more info, which, Brian, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and mention. I had the pleasure of... You don't mind, right?
I don't mind. And actually, why you do this, I just discovered that my coffee has all these coffee grinds like at the bottom that I've been sucking in.
I was trying to figure out your face. I could not figure out what was happening on
my
your
mouth
face
is like full of coffee grinds, and I lifted up my coffee cup, and all I can see on the bottom of it is just grinds. So I'm going to go refill with like better coffee. While you're talking about this, I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. So I do see a couple questions about, I'm a big sucker for like shoot loot and stuff like that as well.
So there is loot? Are we, there is loot?
There's crafting. Let's say there's crafting.
Okay, there's crafting. Fair enough.
Yeah, there is crafting and stuff like that. And let's see. But I will say though, one thing just to get your expectations right, like, it does kind of leave you with a cliffhanger. This is a part of a series. So there are boss fights. It is a full-length game for $20 and stuff, but the story-wise is a lot of cryptic stuff that you can read from. They have this thing called like the Codex, and then that you can actually read in the game. And there's a prequel to the game, the whole story, written by Ryder Wyndham, who has written over 50 Star Wars books and stuff. And so there's a way that you can actually check out some more info on this game. I had the pleasure of meeting Victor Matos and Spencer Peterson, two guys who worked on this game, and got to do an interview with them actually on the PSVR chat show. So you can actually go and check out, we do an interview with them in VR. Check out this channel that I'm posting here in the Discord over the PSVR chat show, and you'll be able to see a full interview. They go really, really in depth on like more stuff in the game. And it was a lot of fun. Big shout out to Jason over there, and Shug and Justin joined me as well. And big shout out to the developers for joining us, sharing more information on the game. But I had an absolute blast with this one. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Deus Ex, and I really, really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to go back and play in hard mode. And
yeah, if you're saying it gave you Deus Ex vibes and the combat's good and it feels fun to play, I am so on board for this. Like, I am going to play this.
It's going to be like Sairento. Like Sairento, there's a little bit of a learning curve. This one, but depending on how you play, I don't know. Depending on how you like to play, there is a little bit of a learning curve. I don't think there's much of a learning curve with the DualShock. But with the moves and then with the rudder, there's also aim support as well. And, people that didn't mind using the aim in Doom, it's kind of like the same thing where you're going to be controlling one hand with the aim, so it's kind of weird. But with the DualShock, you're controlling the pod, and then you let go of one hand, and you're just pressing the buttons. And it's still plenty immersive. But graphically, it took a little bit of a hit when they brought it to PSVR. It doesn't matter though. It's still one of the coolest, most immersive things I've had to experience yet.
Yeah, the downgrade's not bad. The downgrade, it looks exactly what you consider like a good-looking PS2 game to be in VR. Like it looks fine, totally fine, nothing to complain about. On my way back from my coffee excursion, we're talking about like little weird toys and stuff, PlayStation related that we have. Totally forgot that I had this. I've had this since 7 years ago when the PlayStation 3 Move controller was initially launched. Do you guys remember these? Did you ever see these?
What are you talking about?
These are PlayStation Move Pez dispensers.
Oh man,
what the hell?
I don't know if that rings.
That's only in Japan, right? That's only in Japan.
Yeah,
right?
it kind of rings a bell. It's Click, which is the same deal. But yeah, these are actually, are these Japanese? Everything on it is in English. But 2011. And here's the thing: I have a whole case of these, right? Because I just bought it. I saw them at the comic book store that I go to, and they had a whole case of them, and they're all different bulbs, different colors on the Move controllers, and it's ridiculous. It's I never thought that the Moves would ever be anything ever again in 2011. So when I picked these up, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing ever. But now that they're like, we all need them for VR now, it's awesome. It's cool to have them back. Does that take care of all the games that we want to talk about for this week?
Pretty much. Although, as far as upcoming,
one more.
What did I miss?
Okay. Well, I got to do a lovely stream where you dropped into the Discord, and I got to stream on this channel one of my favorite games for PSVR, and that is the Moss Twilight Garden DLC.
Ah, how could we forget Moss Twilight Garden DLC?
Right, very good point.
That is a big one.
But yeah, Moss is one of my favorite games. I know it's a little bit short, but it's such a quality experience.
And now it's longer by about an hour. If you play all the Twilight Garden stuff, it's like 45 minutes to an hour longer, which brings it to like 3.5 hours tops, maybe 4. Or like 3.
AJ's stream on the channel is almost 4 hours long.
Yeah. Well, part of that is the first time you play through, they don't really tell you where to find the Twilight Garden. And so unless you notice the entrance to it, you're going to be running around everywhere trying to figure out how you get in.
Yeah.
So if anybody else plays that or hasn't figured it out yet, there's these glowing particles like right up against a wall. There's 3 of them throughout the game. The first one, which will kind of give you a good idea of what they look like and what to keep an eye for, is there's this temple where there's like 2 stairways and a long hallway that goes to these big mouse statues. And on the left side of that, that's where you get into the first one.
Or you could just watch AJ's stream on Without Parole.
Where he shows you exactly the spot that I just mentioned, which you now all know.
And go to the timestamps so that if Dave's description wasn't good enough, you can see visually.
It was a fucking
exactly
great description.
It was
okay. Kev says weird decision to make you replay the game to get the DLC. What do you guys think?
I actually liked that decision because I hadn't played Moss. And so if I had just gotten the DLC as a separate thing, it would have encouraged me not to replay the game. And it's been long enough that the puzzles felt fresh again and the game felt fresh again. And so it was a good excuse to go back and play it with also the added bonus of like trying to hunt down that new stuff. And the cool thing is that those DLC upgrades you get, like the new sword and the armor and stuff, work in the regular game. So you're playing the end game, but you've got, you can shoot a fireball out of your sword, which is pretty cool. I liked the way it, interacts with the main storyline as well. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. I like it.
And also, I think, and I might just be speculating here, but I think when you look at like Moss a couple years from now, we're going to say a majority of the people who played Moss played it after the DLC came out. Like right now we're in a unique situation where all of us we've all played Moss, we played it at launch, we loved it, and and now like, oh great, DLC, that's awesome, like there's extra stuff out there to go and find. But I think as VR sells more and more and more and it starts to become a little bit more mainstream, I think Moss is going to be one of those games that we're going to see like a couple million people play it over the next couple of years, and it'll all just seem well integrated at that point.
It's on the Quest too, and it was a launch title for Quest, and people loved it on Quest. I mean, it's downgraded a little bit, but the interesting thing there is they had that DLC from the get-go. It wasn't DLC. It's part of the base game on Quest. So yeah, like you're saying, a lot of people's first VR experience in general is going to be Quest. So their first Moss experience already has this built in, which is really cool. I like that.
And for anyone who's looking for the DLC, I saw some comments going, I checked the store and it's just not there. It's a patch. It comes
it's free, it just comes onto your, you just hit update.
Yeah.
If people don't know, just go to the tile on your PlayStation 4 dashboard, hit the options button, and say check for update. But you should have automatic updates on. So go to your settings and make sure you get the automatic updates, so you don't try to play a game and then have to wait like an hour for like a huge.
There's nothing worse than somebody being like, "Oh, hey, let's get on some Firewall tonight," and then I'm like, "Oh, sure, I'm about ready," and then there's like a 3 GB patch. I'm like, "God damn it, I'll see you guys in 20 minutes."
Right.
But no, just to shed some more on Moss real quick, that was actually my most anticipated game back in 2017 because there was no third-person platformers or anything, and I played the demo from the demo disc, and I was absolutely blown away. I love all the thought and everything put into that game. You know how Quill is like the most adorable little thing, and she was a great timed exclusive PSVR mascot. It was like finally like we have like a face for PSVR, something to represent. And so it meant even more to me because I was always a big Crash Bandicoot guy, and just always loved being surrounded and swarmed with PSVR mascots. So love the amount of charm that game has, the quality of it. And I've said it a billion times, if that game was longer, it would probably been rated much, much higher. And just to share a little bit more, they haven't gone a whole lot into it, but I really loved how in the DLC they also added the additional weapons and the armor that you can get, and you can like equip it, and you've got new move sets. And then as well with Moss Book 2, hopefully at some point we get an update on that. But they said that they're experimenting with like some more open world kind of stuff with that. So we'll wait and see. I'm hoping for a great 3D puzzle platformer, another one.
I saw some people in the comments talking about the Penn Teller game.
That's what I was about to bring up before we started talking about this. Yeah. Especially because I just actually got a email from them.
Yeah, I did too.
Nice. Yeah, so it popped right into the front of my mind. But Penn Teller have a game called FUUU, which stands for, what is it? Frankly, unfair, unkind, underhanded, and something else. It's got a really long-winded name. Right. That, of course, just amounts to FUUU. But it's like a series of pranks to play on your friends. Essentially, you put them in this VR headset, and it's something that's supposed to spook them or trick them or just be kind of like it doesn't seem so much like a game as one of those here, check out VR for the first time kind of deals. But I don't know for sure. Anyways, it's out on Quest right now as of today. So I could theoretically check it out, but it's on PSVR July 9th. Right. And people were mentioning Desert Bus, which is the previous VR game that Penn Teller had a hand in. But Desert Bus has been around for a long time. It's like a charity thing where you just ride in a bus for 16 hours, and that's the whole video game. And in this one, they've got something similar where you read the Great American Novel in one sitting. And so it's just like, it's probably like a 15-hour, just like a book in front of you kind of experience. But it should be interesting.
What is the Great American Novel? Is it War
I
and
don't
Peace?
know, actually. I'm not sure which one they decided on.
Interesting. But there's always been, Penn Teller they've always done these like goofy games.
Yeah.
And like in the last one, Smoke and Mirrors, which had Desert Bus on it, was a Sega CD game, which never officially came out, but I do have a reproduction of that. It's always like this silly stuff that like you have to be in on the joke to appreciate, and it's more like you're not going to enjoy it on your own, but like if you get your friends to come over and like mess with them, like that's where the enjoyment comes from. So being able to do that in VR, like here come over and put your friend in VR, then mess with them, like maybe that's the appeal. Be like, hey, you've never tried VR before, let's do this and let me like really screw with your head.
Yeah, and I think the other appeal is people like Penn Teller already. Like there's a bunch of people in chat talking about it. If it wasn't a Penn Teller branded game, I don't think many people would be talking about it. No. So that's pretty big. And like you've said, they've always kind of dipped their toes in video games and like new technologies and stuff. So I think it's cool to see them jump in. Yeah. But I don't have the highest expectations, but hopefully it's funny at least. I think it'll probably be
they've always been pretty good at mixing comedy and magic.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll be somewhat entertaining for sure.
Yeah. Cool. And I think that's about gonna do it, guys. We're coming up on a 2-hour mark here, so another long GAMESCAST live.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, make sure. Wow, Jesus, I'm like tired.
You all right?
You just drank that whole thing of coffee. Falling over.
Don't pass out on us, man. We just got to get through the outro, man. Come on, let's do this.
Oh, I'm almost there. Hold on, I'm gonna get there. Guys, for anyone who doesn't know, I haven't been feeling like myself for the last couple months actually, but it's been getting worse. I'm definitely seeing some doctors about what's going on with me. Very tired all the time. So be patient when it comes to reviews. Be patient when it comes to our normally scheduled shows. As you saw, PSVR this week was late. Why We Love PSVR was late. This show will always be on time because we don't have a choice. So no worries on that. But basically, just be patient for the next month or two when it comes to the channel. I'm going to do my absolute best not to let you guys down. Again, Siren on my end, no surprises there. But that's it. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you to everybody who supports the channel financially. All the people who donated today are, I mean, literally keeping this channel running. I basically don't even go to the restaurant anymore. I'm 100% reliant on Patreon support, donations, and YouTube ad revenue, which is way lower than you'd expect it to be for 40,000 subscribers.
Really can't thank you guys enough for all the support, and just know that we're going through this rough patch here, but as soon as we get out of this, we're gonna come back with a vengeance, man. So okay. we're gonna overload this channel like crazy once we get this sorted out. But the support, everything has been awesome from the get-go. So really can't thank you guys enough, man. So like blessed and lucky to know all of you and have you guys a part of this community with us. But just be ready, because like I said, a month from now, it's gonna get crazy here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As soon as I get everything sorted out, man, I'm going to full blast, and I'm doing my best to keep up with everything as we go. So yeah, hit us up if you like what you see on this channel. Make sure you hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Make sure you like everything we do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Davestation VR over on his YouTube channel if you like that guy. I'm not saying you do. And then of course, and then can we see your cat?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
Would you guys like me better? Would you subscribe if I showed you Carlos?
I just subscribed again. That's Carlos.
Carlos, look at the camera. Can you see the camera?
He's intentionally looking above the camera. It's adorable.
He doesn't like this very much.
That's an awesome looking cat.
That is adorable.
I love this cat.
Make sure you subscribe to AJ over at PlayStation VR Underground, or PSVR Underground as we say it around here. And also, of course, keep an eye out for all the stuff he does on Without Parole. He's our strategy guide guy. He's our tips guy. He also does reviews on occasion, does live streams when it's his speed of game. And recently it's been more of his speed of game. Also, hey, for not feeling so hot recently, I got my OBS streams up and running, which is
those look great, man. Good job on it.
And we'll keep adjusting those. I know there's been like volume issues and all sorts of stuff, but we will absolutely keep working on those until they're perfect. So I want to say thank you to everybody again. Thank you, Davestation. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, GameCats. We love you all.
Catch you later. Oh, this is the part where we talk over the outro, right?
Yeah, I do want to remind everyone real quick. If you want to go check out the rest of that Scraper interview, head over to the PSVR chat show on YouTube and check it out. It was really fun doing that interview. And it's really cool stuff. And once they get done, they open up that room to the public. So everyone can go and check out that room. That is Scraper First Strike inspired. They have a great team that creates these rooms, and it really blew away the developers with their creativity and hard work, and it was really cool.
There we go. No, he doesn't interfere. He actually, outside guy. And
he's gotten off a little, Dave. What'd you say? Inside outside cat?
Yeah, he's an inside outside cat. So lately he just comes in for food and then he bails on me. So no, he never messes with my games. I can't even get him to hang out with me at all. All right,
he's Brian Paul. But we
not yet.
Can you give us an I'm Brian Paul and I love you all? A genuine one. Take your time with it. I've been dying to hear that. What's happening?